In the radio studios of America, the technicians, the entertainers, the commentators, the administrative personnel daily unite their efforts in the creation of programs to please and entertain the vast radio public.
Hey, what's the microphone?
New vistas, new excitement, new thrills.
Dear, don't you think it needs a little more salt?
Don't you get it? I get it.
One of America's leading public service stations.
A well-known authority.
That's the way, stupid.
Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
Perhaps one of the most important messages ever issued is the one you're about to hear.
And so, we're on the air.
Hey everybody, welcome to John D Podcast. I'm your host, John D. Miller. Welcome to episode number 65, everybody. Number 65, numero 65 in the old Espanol language. That's right. 1,179 going on 1,180 days now as I begin to record this of no booze. Yeah, no booze. Yeah, no booze. How are yous? How are yous? How are y'all? Did I say that? In case I did not. Yeah. How's everybody? Fantastic. So back for 60. I know I haven't been here in a minute. I've been working in podcasting, so that's awesome. We'll see if the investment pays off, I guess is what I would comment about that. But it's been fun. It's been interesting, and I've learned a ton, and I hope it continues. So that would be awesome. I've been doing that, and then, of course, stuff with the kid. Almost out of school. Almost done he's almost out of elementary school, which is it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm hoping he gets there. I hope. Apparently he's not been doing much in school lately, which, I remember doing that too. I remember doing that too. In 5th grade, I was like, screw this. I'm out of this joint. What are they going to do? Hold me back? Oh, you might? Oh, shit. All right. Okay. I'm going to be good. Then ask 4 weeks. Huh? I'm going to do everything. Yeah. And I got out of there. But it was not a close call, but, I definitely buzzed the tower of failure, I think is what I would say. So going in right off the bat, I want to talk about this. So entertainment, we're going to lead off with that for the episode. Why? Because I'm in charge of it. That's why. No, I do. I like talking about my entertainment news, especially a story that I've been talking about recently. There's an update on that. So as you people know, I've talked about Pauly Shore's desire or want to make a movie about Richard Simmons. And how much he wants to make a biopic of him and tell his story, which I think is awesome. I think it would be great to see. I think I would love to see it. I really do. Why? Because I think Richard Simmons was just an amazing, he's a character. And he's been through some stuff. To do what he did and to tell the story, I think it would be awesome. Because he has been through a ton of adversity in his life. And I remember him from when I was a kid. He was a big thing when I was a kid. And so I guess maybe that's part of it is nostalgia. Plus, Pauly Shore. I mean, I don't know what else to do, what to say about that. Gotta love some Pauly Shore. I don't care what you say. Oh, he's stupid. Fuck you. That's what I say. Okay. I think Pauly Shore is awesome. So, you know what? You put those two things together. And I think it would be a fantastic movie. If you go on YouTube and look at it's called The Court Jester. I talked about that. It went to the Sundance Film Festival in Utah to some rave reviews. It's only like 15 minutes long. Go on YouTube and watch it. Maybe I might put the link in the show notes. But I'm serious. Like it's really good. And this is the thing. This is why I wanted to see this because every great comedian, I always say, are the closest thing to, like a Jedi or like a Force user. They can use both sides of emotion. They know both sides of it. It's one reason why they know the funny is because they know the bad. They know the dark side, right? As well. I know. And I said that one time. Someone's like, "You mean like good magic and bad magic?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you want to make it sound like completely uncool." No, I mean the Force. Okay, thank you. Anyways, no, but whatever. The good and evil, like the dark and the. Yeah. And that's why I feel. And so some of the best comedians, Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, Steve Martin, but all these people, all these comedians that have done all these serious roles over the years, they do it because they have it in them. They're not just hey, Mr. Funny Guy. They have done some real serious roles, and I want to see Pauly Shore get the opportunity to do that. He wants to do it. He wants to put his heart and passion into it. I think a Richard Simmons biopic with him, starring him, come on. Richard Simmons, though, wants nothing to do with it. And I want to see this movie. I would pay money to go see this in the theater. I mean, probably not, because I don't go to the theater anymore. But I mean, I don't know. I can't sit there that long anymore without I gotta move my legs, my knee, my knees. And don't make movies so fucking long, or start putting an intermission in. And somebody was talking about that not long ago. That some of the movies that are coming out, if they go over, I think a certain length, they will have an intermission. And it's only going to be like 5 minutes. Maybe it's 10. I think it's 10 minutes. Not long enough that you could actually run out, smoke, come back in. None of that stuff. But, you go to the bathroom, come back. I think that's basically what it's for. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if the movie's sold out? You think that in 10 minutes everybody in that theater, let's say half the people want to go to the bathroom, you think half those people are gonna run to the bathroom and it's not gonna be a major flood of? What if you have 2 movies doing that? Right? That's gonna be a freaking nightmare. Right? How are you gonna make that happen? I'm just saying that's a lot of stuff flushing all at once. But Richard Simmons continues to say, no, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want this to be, I don't want it to happen. It's sort of making me sad. And apparently he's making Pauly Shore very sad as well. So he has said that he was up all night crying, which, okay. Shore posted on Instagram. Pauly Shore wrote, he said, Richard, how do you not approve of this movie? This is in his IG post. It's the end of the lingo. He said, I mean, really, who's better to play you in a movie than me? Leonardo DiCaprio's not going to play you. Brad Pitt's not going to play you. I'm perfect. Everyone already thinks I'm you. We're the same. Now, somebody are trying to say, well, does Simmons just not like Pauly Shore and think he's just going to be going, oh, the weasel, right? No. Look at the Court Jester movie. It's that he did, a little short film. That movie he's not doing that in that movie. Yeah, but I did that line. He says, I'm perfect. Everyone already thinks I'm you. We're the same. I've never confused Pauly Shore for Richard Simmons. Like if I saw him on a plane, I'd be like, holy shit, Pauly Shore. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, that guy's going to want me to work out. I really feel like part of it is that Simmons does not take Shore seriously. And some people have said that Shore is literally throwing a fit over this because he is just basically being a Hollywood spoiled brat. He also makes a very good point, in my opinion. Because Simmons has apparently gone to another studio about perhaps making his own biopic or talking to somebody, the one that would be approved. You can contend that, hey, to anyone, hey, would you want somebody telling the story of your life and maybe screwing it up? Okay, I get that part. I totally get that part. But I don't think they would. So there's something in that where I think that Simmons does not think that Pauly Shore will take it seriously or hope do something that'll be kind of dumb with it, for lack of a better term. And Shore even said, he talks about, hey, he said, I heard that you're in talks with studios to do a biopic about yourself. And he says that's amazing. The more movies about you, the better. That's what he's saying to Simmons. He says you deserve it. There should be hundreds made. As many biopics are made without the subject agreeing to be part of it. Elvis, Stephen Hawking, Marilyn Monroe, Steve Jobs, and many, many more. Some of them turned out good. Some of them turned out bad. Mine is going to turn out amazeballs. Now, Pauly, I don't think you're turning Richard Simmons into a fan of you if you say amazeballs, but I don't know. I don't really know how refined he really is. I want to see it. So I was just an update on it, and I know I probably went a little too long on it, and I'll probably cut some of that out, but I'm just saying I think it would be a great movie, and I don't know why Mr. Simmons won't do it. I mean, but here's the thing. How much money would he make from a Pauly Shore one, right? That's a totally contentionable thing, as opposed to him going to a studio and saying, okay, who wants to make the movie? Because people would. It's Hollywood, man. Think about it. So, I'm going to watch it whether Richard Simmons likes it or not. I mean, I don't think he's going to call me and condemn me for it. I don't know. If he wants to come on this podcast, he can comment about it. I'd be more than happy to do that and set that up. I got like Waze, I got Zoom and StreamYard, and come on. But speaking of something that I think could be out of a movie, I don't know who would play the role. I don't know the situation, but there's got to be a story behind this. So a woman was living in the sign of a Michigan grocery store. You know, you go to Kroger, you go to Food Lion. I don't know what you got where you Food City, Food Warehouse, discount, blah blah blah, whatever you're going for, right? She was living in the sign. That's what she was doing. So it all started. This is in Michigan, of all places. I mean, this got to be an interesting story because this woman's living in the sign. I take it there was no heat in this sign. I've been to Michigan in January. It's not fun. It is not fun. It is not a fun time. I went up there when I used to do comedy in the winter a couple times. Same thing I said about Canada. I don't want to be there in the winter. If I can avoid it. I do. I love the hockey. Don't like the weather. In the winter. Spring, fall, summer. It's fantastic. It's just that cold part. I know. It's called Family Fare. Family Fare Supermarkets. Okay, there you go. They got all these chains and Ralph's and all this other shit. The big one around here where I live is Kroger. We got that. That's big. Food Lion. We got some Publix now. It's funny how they kind of form. Like it used to be, you went to Florida, for instance, and that you'd see Publix down there. And you go there, wow, look at this Publix. This is awesome. And the only reason it was really cool or anything, that's the whole thing with grocery stores in general. Like we think grocery stores are cool. Oh my God, look at this grocery store. They got the Aldi. Yeah, you got to put a fucking quarter in to get your grocery card. Ugh, kind of stupid shit at that. The Aldi by where I live is the coldest goddamn store I've ever been in my life. And everybody there looks pissed off every time I've been in there. So it was what was it? Family Fare store, Midland, Michigan. Huh, okay. I don't think I ever went there doing comedy. I might have driven past it. I don't know where is it on the hand? Show me where it is on your hand. So here's what happened. Contractors, there was an extension cord, right? They saw on the roof of the store. They went to go check on some other stuff, and they found a 34-year-old woman was living inside the business sign with enough space for a, quote, a computer, printer, and coffee maker. Is what according to the police report. A computer, a printer, and a coffee maker. Was she running a lobby at a tire center? What was she doing? This is one of the things reason I'm bringing this up is because for two reasons. One, the ingenuity that take to do this. Also, the survivability factor that goes into what she was doing. She was up there for, they think, I don't know, 8 months or something? A year? So she was there in the winter. That's my point. And she had a computer or printer. How'd the computer and the printer work when it was like 20 degrees and below? But she told police that she had a job elsewhere, but had been living inside the Family Fare sign, for roughly a year. According to this one article from the Associated Press. And other ones too, but yeah, what the heck? But she had a flooring. I don't know. That's pretty interesting kind of a thing. Like, what would make this store sign that much better? Vinyl flooring. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. It lasts. It looks good a lot. It's easy to clean, right? Okay. She had her clothing and a Keurig coffee maker. Well, if you had got one of those, my wife could live there. She loves the Keurig. That was a Christmas win. That thing's probably getting pretty old. I'm going to have to probably get her a new one. That thing still works. There you go. There's a tribute to Keurig. Send us another one for free. Because I mentioned you. Buy Keurig. She had a computer and a printer. Like the ones you'd have in your home. But she got busted because she was able to get electricity through a power cord plugged into an outlet on the roof. Here's the other thing about it. With the survivability and everything else she was doing. There was no ladder. So that lady was literally climbing up the side of the building or doing... Yeah, that's crazy. Also, another part of the story I really liked was that apparently the store didn't press charges. The employees there reacted with a lot of compassion. The store gave her stuff. And actually, the store itself, the company, the Family Fare company, is donating $10,000 to homeless places in the area. Apparently it has a population of around 42,000 in Midland, Michigan. And apparently they have a shortage of housing for low-income residents. This woman going through this and sort of that story, that's actually a story of survival. And then the way that the company itself has come through. Yeah, well, that just goes to show what human compassion can also be as well. I haven't talked about this yet. Several, I know I said last episode, I'm going to have a guest on. Factors. I'm not going to go into it. But guess what? I got email. Yeah, guess what? I got email. That'll probably end up being the title of the episode. You watch. Or listen. I don't know. You'll see it on the thing. Whatever. So, I'm going to do that. I'm going to read the email. But yeah, hey, make sure you follow me on social media. John D Comedy, John D Podcast on Twitter. That's right. Suck it, Elon. John D Podcast on Facebook. JonDpodcom on Instagram and Threads. You can email the show, JonDpodcom@gmail.com. I know I got email for this show, but you can always send me more. I do love it. It helps fill the time. All right, no, I'm just kidding. Cheater. All right, so we're going to do that when we come back. All right, so stick around. More John D Podcast right after this. When I quit booze for good, one thing I learned was to always keep your palate entertained. And one of my new favorite ways to make it happen is BlendJet 2. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up a smoothie at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even an NA margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through tough ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. Lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C. Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap and you're good to go. With over 30 plus colors and patterns to choose from, there's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. And be sure to use the promo code JonDpod12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code JonDpod12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever. BlendJet 2. And welcome back to part 2 of episode 65 of John D Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Miller. Welcome back, everybody. How was your break? Was it good? Did you have fun? Did you go very far? Did you get any good mail? Where'd you go? I've been talking to people. Somebody asked me the other day. I'm going to get to Matt's email in a second. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, why do you not do video, John? And I said, because I don't know what video John is. And no, they said, why do you not do video? And I said, because I don't want to. I don't want to, I don't know. I just don't want to. I feel like I've gotten more and more feedback lately. As I said, I've been doing some work actually in podcasting and the business side of it. I get a lot of people, even today. I was talking with some clients of mine, clients being one group of clients. It wasn't a, but yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. But anyways, they were talking about how they were going to be doing audio. Because people, and then another client that later on this evening had said in a meeting, with a Zoom meeting, said she was talking about it as well. About how the audio and everything and the necessity for that. And then because people, as for instance, as she put it, she likes to walk. So she was saying a lot of times when she listens to a podcast is when she's walking. I mean, I used to listen to them all the time when I worked in the kitchen and I was making giant vats of clam chowder. You know what I mean? Like that was when I got into it. Really. A couple of my coworkers turned me on to it. And I'd heard them before. I'd listened to some before, actually. But, yeah, I that's when I got into it. And I was like, man, I want to do this shit because I always liked radio and everything. So I thought, man, this would be cool, right? Just me talking. People can listen to it whenever they want. Yeah. That ain't bad. I want to give that a whirl. So, but a lot of people have said, well, how come you don't have video? Well, because people like that I hear all the time. So people want to send me, ask me questions sometimes. Well, don't you have video? Plus, I have a face for podcasting. I know there's a podcast called that. It's an old vaudeville joke where they're like, guy goes, he wants to be an actor. And he goes to a talent agent. And he goes to the talent agent and he does the read and everything. The talent agent's like, yeah, that was really good. That was really good. But you have a face for radio is what the old joke goes. So anyways, all right. Speaking of that stuff, let's get to the email. Now, this guy did not do the little game that I'm playing. Take the episode title, go to write me an email with the subject, or you can put it in the email. I don't know. And you do the minute mark of where it is in the episode, and I will send you something. I'm not saying what it is. It's not much of something, but it is something. My new friend, Matt, who wrote me an email. Thank you, Matt, by the way, for doing that. That's cool, man. This is going to be interesting. Because you gave me a lot to talk about. I feel like if I hadn't gone on so much in the first half, I might have more time for this because you got a whole bunch of stuff to unpack. He says, hi, John D. My name is Matt W., and I'm a dedicated listener to your podcast. Yes. I knew I had 5 of them. I knew it. I knew I had 5. Somebody tried to tell me it was 4, and I was like, no way. He says, I wanted to reach out and let you know how much I appreciate your show and the effort you put into each episode. God dang it, Matt. Are you trying to be my co-host? What's going on? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start having people on the show that just write to me. Oh, yeah, you want to write to me? Even if it was a segment, maybe we'll hook that up. I got Zooms and streams and yards and everything. StreamYard. That used to be, I thought that was when you just peed outside. Anyways, Matt writes, your recent episode about losing your friend Al Goodwin really hit home for me. I've also experienced the loss of friends and mentors, and hearing your story brought back a lot of memories and emotions. Yeah, I'm sure. I got that from several people who were like, yeah, man, sorry about your friend. Some people who knew him, who knew who he was, but they didn't really know him. I think that's why a lot of people, when there is loss and grief, they can relate, They just stand by you and put their arm around you because they know what it's like. They've been there. And he says, it was comforting to know that I'm not alone in these experiences, right? That's what I was just saying. And I truly appreciate your openness and honesty. Well, not a problem. That's what I'm here for, right? Isn't that why you tune in every Tuesday at 5 o'clock? I don't know. What the... Can you imagine if I had a daily show? That'd be a wreck. I'd probably have other people working on this than me. Anyway, so then Matt says, on a lighter note, I wanted to ask you what you think of the Florida Panthers' chances in the Cup playoffs this year. I'm a big Panthers fan and hockey fan. Did you mean it right like that? I'm a big Panthers fan and hockey fan. Okay. And notice you don't talk about hockey much anymore on the show. It would be great to hear more of your thoughts on it, especially right now with the playoffs going on. Okay, let's talk about it, Matt. You want to do that? Let's do it. All right, first off, everybody stop giving my Capitals grief because they went out in 4 games. That team should not even have made the playoffs. They were sellers at the trade deadline. Them or any of the other teams, the Red Wings, the Flyers, the Penguins, even the Islanders that ended up finishing in the 3rd division spot, not the wild card spot, but the 3rd division spot, they all would have lost in 4 or 5 games. So, I didn't like some of the officiating in that. I think some of the officiating in general has been terrible in these playoffs. I'm not just talking about some of the stuff with the Caps and the Rangers. I didn't like Panarin's hit on Oshie, the no penalty, Rempe's hit. Anyways, Rangers they're a stacked team. So I wasn't surprised they blew through the Caps. I'd like to see Caps get at least 1, but I think the Caps have a very strong future considering the quality of players they have in Hershey, last year's Calder Cup champions and everything else. So yeah, I'm not that worried about that. As far as Florida, if you want to go there, I like the Florida chances. I really do. I think if they end up playing the Rangers, which looks like they might because the Rangers are tearing through the Hurricanes, it would be kind of funny if the Hurricanes came back, won 4 straight. I don't see it happening. But I think Florida will put away Boston, and I think a Florida Rangers conference final will be pretty good. In the West, it's been very interesting to watch the Stars in the Avalanche series because like, I know the Stars have home ice advantage in that series, but, in numbers wise and on paper, that Avalanche team is pretty stacked. However, they're not quite playing up to par. I don't feel like, I feel like something's not quite there. And then they lost Nikushkin to apparently a drug something. So that guy, I mean, he got suspended for like 6 months now. So wait, good timing, dude. You couldn't wait till the playoffs were over and get loaded. Yeah, I don't know. It's all about priorities, I guess. And I do understand addiction, but at the same time, when your addiction is interfering with your life, you got to do it. And this is not the first time, I understand. I'm an alcoholic. I have problems with alcohol, but come on, man. Canucks and the Oilers. I wish, I don't know. I want the cup to go to a Canadian team. I feel like the Stanley Cup needs to go home. It needs to go back to Canada for a little bit, even if it is a Western Conference Canadian team. I feel like a lot of my Canadian friends are going, no, it's got to be, it's got to be the Leafs well, you know what? I don't know. Or the Oilers. Everybody's okay. Go Oilers because they're steeped in heritage and history. I get it, but come on. I love it when a team or a city wins their first ever championship. That's one of the best things ever. I mean, and the Canucks have a good team. I'm just saying. I've been talking about them for several months now. They lost Demko, and Sivos has come in and played his butt off. So I think that's pretty. He's pretty nice. He's been a great surprise. That's one of the great things about the Stanley Cup playoffs. That is what happens. It's weird. I feel like the teams so far in the playoffs that are sort of supposed to be winning are. I mean, they're okay. You finish at this spot. You finish at this spot, and they're kind of building towards that. So I mean, you do have Boston and Florida, who are 1-2 in the division. So that's But so do you have that with the Rangers and the Hurricanes. But Hurricanes just haven't gotten any luck. That's been a lot of it. And the Rangers have, and they're a good team. But a part of me is rooting for Kuzi because I'm always going to love that guy for scoring the OT winner against the Penguins, which opened the gate, in my opinion, to the Caps winning the Cup in 2018. So always going to have a special spot for him. The fact that he went for a third-round pick is absolutely freaking ridiculous. So my prediction for the conference final, I'm going to go with the Rangers and Florida are going to play each other, which will be cool because everybody, you got the people in New York who still live there. They'll be rooting against the Panthers, who their parents who were retired in Florida are rooting for. So that'll work out cool. I'm sure there'll be some wonderful table conversations or Zoom or FaceTime meetings with that. Because that's a lot of what happens. People retire to Florida. Like, well, I can't. So I do, I can't root for them. They're down here. But I mean, that's also the other thing is you go to Tampa, you go to Florida, you get a lot of Rangers fans because a lot of people from New York go down there. Well, the snowbirds. I'm a fucking snowbird over here. All right. So I guess is that enough hockey for you, Matt? Is that enough? Does this not entertain you? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't think I left anything out. I think that covers it pretty succinctly. All right, let's get back to the email because you also brought up another point, and this is going to be a little more of a, I don't know, intricate or whatever. But he said, Matt says, I also noticed that you haven't discussed politics much lately. I always valued your perspective, even though I'm from a very Trumpy, spelled it lowercase t, capital R. I've seen that so many times. Okay. Even though I'm from a very Trumpy area of Florida, your balanced and thoughtful commentary, thanks, man, jeez, was a refreshing change from the usual polarized discussions. Thank you, Matt. I sincerely appreciate that. I try to be fair. People talk about this guy did this and this guy did that. Well, then get them both out, I know we don't have that choice. Whatever. Yeah. Well, thank you, Matt. I haven't been talking about politics much lately because I don't want to touch it anymore in my stand-up, and I'm starting to feel that way about the podcast. I want to do things that everybody can relate to or sort of enjoy, regardless of what this stupid political bullshit is that's going on. I'm not saying I'm always going to do that, but I have kind of stepped back a little bit. It is partly because of my stand-up the way I'm doing it now. I don't know. Partly also because, you hear so much of it all the time. That's one of the things. You hear about it so much. You hear about how MTG, Plateface, Green, Margie, and stuff that she's doing and shit like that. And and the fucking trial. And I don't know, with Trump and everything else that's going on. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just take a break from this. Let's talk about other dumb shit that's going on in the world. That's dumb shit. This is dumb shit. Don't get me wrong. I think politics is very important. I'm just tired of this fucking circus that goes on. And so I guess maybe I feel like if I don't feel like talking about it, then maybe you don't feel like hearing about it. But and it doesn't mean I won't come back to it. It is very much, sort of a cluster right there. And you know what I'm saying. I know I've said F-bombs so many times, but I don't know, for some reason I felt like, let's make it one less. Let's make it one less for the episode, John, huh? I mean, you see the papers, you see the news, you see what's going on. So I say, let's take a break from it. As I'm trying to do now. I know. What did he say? I liked you till just now. Yeah, okay. And that's why I wasn't doing it. But I do want to address Matt's question because I think it's a fair question. I have literally had tirades on here about some of the stuff that has occurred. And I don't know. I feel like it just wasn't. And it might. Don't be surprised if you hear something, knock on wood. I won't have to do anything because everything will be hunky-dory. I hope and I pray, because that's what we need as Americans. Let's come together. I know it sounds stupid, but it's not. It's actually a very good thing. And that does not mean hating everybody, and doesn't mean hating immigrants. It doesn't mean hating somebody that's different from you or doesn't do the things the same way that you do, whatever it may be. If you can all come together and listen to John D, then we're fine. And it's my job to not make you divided, I guess. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think the people who like me, and they get it, and they think a lot. That's one thing about podcasting. A lot of it's personality driven. If a listener likes your personality, they probably think along the same lines as you, right? At least to a certain point. And I feel like that is important. And so I feel like that's what I'm doing. So if you're listening now, you probably agree with me, but at the same time, let's take a break. You may not like it either way, but let's move forward. I don't want to be polarized. So let's finish this up. He says, keep up the great work, John D. I really enjoy the podcast and would love to hear more episodes more often. This is good. He says, your podcast is a highlight of my ... whenever it gets out. You, sir, are funny. You are a funny man, Matt W. Thank you for writing in. That's awesome. You should have done the title to the thing. I would have tried to say, I don't know. Maybe I will send you something. I'll send you an email. I should get merch. I should get some merch. Anybody got merch? Anybody want to buy me merch for me to sell? Yeah, see, you pay for it, and then I sell it, and you go, "Yay, John, good job." See how that works? It's fun. All right, so you can email the show as well, JonDpodcom@gmail.com, which is also the name of my YouTube channel. I took like it's definitely 2.5 YouTube channels and tried to put them into one. And it's pretty bleak, but you can go on there and increase the count of subscribers. JonDpodcom on YouTube. All right. Don't forget your charities, of course. No Kid Hungry, many school-aged children in situations where the best meal of their day come from school. No Kid Hungry helps children with meals when children are in need and are away from school, such as weekends and holidays. No Kid Hungry. Wounded Warrior Project. The brave men and women who have served our country deserve the best care we can give them after they return home. Some of them have wounds that are external and or internal that they might need help with, or just even accessible housing. Wounded Warrior Project. BestFriends.org is making a difference by helping homeless dogs and cats in shelters be adopted faster and in more numbers. Their goal is to have the entire country no-kill shelters by the year 2025. Check out and support these charities if you can, or any others that may be in your local areas. And after all that charity, if you got time for a little charity, don't forget you can support the show through our official listener support app, Venmo, at JonDpodcom. Executive producers for John D Podcast are Tom Egg. That's his voicemail when you call him. And Liz Miller, thanks to each of them for making this happen in their own ways. This episode was recorded and produced by yours truly, John D. Miller, in the Amber Tree Media Studio. Don't forget blendjet.com. JonDpod12 is your code for 12% off and free 2-day shipping. Okay, I think that's everything. I know. I feel like this episode went a little long and didn't cover that much. I don't know. Did it cover a lot? I think it covered a lot. All right, you guys. Guess what? I had email, and I sincerely appreciate that. And I appreciate your time. Well, let's see what happens in the NHL playoffs. I was just watching some a few minutes ago for a quick minute. I won't say what happened, but it's going to be interesting. Okay. All right. Let's get Pauly Shore dressed up like Richard Simmons. Hopefully they make a movie. Matt W., thanks for writing in. All right. That being said, this has been episode 65 of John D. Podcast. I've been your host, John D. Miller. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And until next time, later for you.